what I cannot stress enough is please keep those lines of inquiry, please keep them factual. Don't clog that 101 line that we really need to have that factual information come through to give the police lines of inquiry. And we thank everybody that did come forward. What I would say is we need to keep it to factual information. Like, they could have received 100 calls on, I don't know, that's not relevant to the case. On the morning, it's surreal, as we dropped kids off at school, I gave her a quick wave because we're going on our busy routines of the day. Physically spoke to her the day before.
Hello all, and welcome back to Mind Juice. I did not intend on returning so swiftly, yet after having a short time to begin sifting through the tip of the iceberg that is all of the comments and emails, there's a few things I want to ensure are made very clear, not being lost. Now, I realize that some are being hung up on what is my fault, that is, some of the hypothesizing I did around the facts, suggesting the 26th maybe when something happened, etc. I'll acknowledge that. Further, a quick thank you to everyone reaching out, sending me information, photos. I truly appreciate it. Jen, you're awesome. Message was great. Do know I hear you and we'll get back. Others, I would love to shout out. However, I want to respect your privacy as I know some of you are from the area and I would never want to call you out. The one I mentioned, I do not believe is so. But do know I appreciate all of those reaching out. It makes all the difference. And I do intend on getting to the emails and responding to those I can throughout the week. Just know I'm a bit taken aback by the incoming. But don't let that stop you. I'm always welcome to engagement. Now, the chief hang-up here that I have noticed, and the primary reason I am making this follow-up, is the belief that Nicola was seen and observed at the school, or the idea that the daughters would surely know, or they would likely know. I respect this. Although I'm going off of Emma being the witness account, I'll acknowledge that someone other, or kids may confirm she was. We have yet to know. In fact, let us presume Nikki was at the school. Given what I have presented in light of the facts, and for this episode, maintaining Emma's wish here, I will not suggest any hypothesizing, all right? Fair? To me, whether or not Nikki was at the school or not is irrelevant, and I'll explain. She was still never missing, never at the river at St. Michael's. I'll explain. I do not want the findings to be diminished, lost, misconstrued by this hang-up, which I acknowledge, sure, is partly my fault, my opinion, and not necessarily fact. Time will tell on that one. So, I'll respect that, and okay, let's say Nicola did in fact attend the school that morning, because we cannot know for 100% certainty, right? Personally, I don't think she was, but that's me, and thus isn't worth anything beyond my opinion, right? I'm solidifying this with the unsynced Fitbit for 3 days prior to, and her grandparents having the kids later that evening. But let's dismiss all of this. For this piece, Nikki took the girls to school, all right? Then something happened before. What, how, I cannot possibly assert or know. What I am suggesting via visual fact is that she, Nicola, could not have taken Willow, attended the RIVER Wyre. That's the point. Please do not get that misconstrued. Emma White is the one in the CCTV photos given to the police. The 3 photos given to the police. I'll briefly show and prove it here again. The major and the biggest point I do not want to get lost in these photos, she, Emma, is intentionally impersonating Nicola with Willow in the boot. With Willow in the boot. Regardless of whether or not she took the kids to school, this is irrelevant. I know some may say, well, it was her routine to drop the girls off, then take Willow. Yet I heard her father at one point also say she sometimes goes back and then gets Willow before then returning, parking, and taking a walk. Well, the point is, I really don't care what the routine is, nor do I think it matters in the face of the evidence. Emma interjects herself here. At this point, she is on and the one in the CCTV with Willow in the boot at their house in Inskip. You can match the house up with the photos. I won't do that here, as I know you're all capable of doing such. So Nikki took the girls to school or she didn't. It doesn't matter. The narrative is that she took Willow on a walk along the towpath and the River Wyre at St. Michael's. Emma is with Willow in the lead, you can see on the back right-hand side. The intricacies aren't relevant, taken to school, taking not, to the narrative that matters. The one wherein Nikki is said to have went missing, which is upper field, left field, on a team's call, texting, set her phone down, was with Willow, she went into the river. Emma is the one in the CCTV photos at the house in Inskip at this time, school or not school. Thus, Emma is the one impersonating with Willow at the river. Make sense? The importance is that Emma impersonated Nikki. CCTV shows her with Willow, the lead, headed then to St. Michael's. It's not Nikki. Why is Emma impersonating Nicola in the CCTV? Presenting as if she is gearing up to take Willow on her routine walk. Like I said, who cares about the school aspect? That's not the point. Emma is impersonating Nicola with Willow in the boot at this time the CCTV photo is taken, which is presented to the police. That's not my opinion. This is the facts and what I have found. I just get a little frustrated when things, well, you know what, the school, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. I hope you understand that. Okay? Well, it changes what you said. Well, yeah, that was hypothesizing. Okay? That's why I'm making this piece to zone in on what matters. These CCTV photos present this very idea. Nikki getting Willow ready for her walk, right? But it's not Nikki. So whether you believe Nicola was at the school with the girls or not, the factual shift is Emma impersonating Nicola with Willow in the boot. Look for yourself. Further, it's not just finding the ring. It's the behavior surrounding the identifiers I have previously presented. Why does Emma go from seemingly having no problem showing the ring off prior to this whole fiasco? Look at this photo here. You can clearly see the ring. Thank you to those of you who have sent these to me. Yet, after the CCTV, Nicola goes missing, air quotes, you deliberately see Emma conceal this very gem of the ring, intentionally flipping it under. Further, wherever else you see this photo, like this one here, I took from the Channel 5 interview, which is the slideshow that played as Emma talked, featuring Paul and Emma. They show this exact photo. But look, the ring has been intentionally cropped off. Why? This is the behavior I'm talking about. It's not just, oh, that's a ring, that's Emma, you can't prove it. Look at the devious behavior behind it, the intentional cropping. Okay? Further, why does Emma go through all of the effort to push out all of the extra photos of Nicola in the CCTV photos? Giving ideas, theories, clues, alternative hypotheses to other sources. Like I said, to flood the narratives. Wash out the 3 photos that are her. Look, they even say, provided by Emma White, handout by Emma White, or friends. These 3 photos, provided to the police, are Emma impersonating Nikki. Take a look. Walking out, side profile, widow's peak, hair parting, whatever you want to call it, and then you look at Nicola, she does not have that same hairline, okay? The facial structure is different, the cheekbone, you get the point. The second one, the hand, revealing the ring. Yes, I tried to explain this in the last video. You can pull the door down and it's going to block the ring. You're missing the point. Please, you're missing the point. The individual in the CCTV photo presented to police as said to be Nicola that day. You can see a ring. That's the point. I don't want to hear any of the other side garbage. Look at it for yourself. Okay? I have been sent 30 different pictures of Nicola now showing her right hand, and not in a single one of them does she have any hand jewelry on. 0, nil, nada. 0. But yet she just so happens to have a ring on her index hand that just so happens to look like Emma's. And oh, after the fact, Emma has that same ring on, but she flips it under to hide it. I mean, this is where, if you're going to send me stuff and say, like, I just got one recently trying to prove otherwise, like, I'm not going to listen to that. The fact is right here. And if you can't see that, then you're barking up the wrong tree. I'm just being sincere here. Okay? It's not that I'm not open-minded. It's the other way around. If you can tell, I don't, I think for myself critically. Right? Like this. I'm presenting this piece because maybe I was wrong in hypothesizing the rest of the stuff. I acknowledge that. I own that. That's why I'm doing this. Okay? And then the third one you have is what I call the crab walk. She's trying to be larger than she is. Those are the three that are Emma. Okay? Every other one you see is Nikki. Every other one. Provided by Emma White herself or her friends, like I showed you. Take a look. Remember, this photo of Nicola has the nose airbrushed off. If you think I did this, go look in your Google yourself, pull it up, and pull it open zoom, and you're going to see the same thing. I cannot make this stuff up. They and she did this so you could not compare and contrast the one of Emma coming out of the door. Look at that photo. It's so blurred, you can't tell what the nose is or not. That's the point. You can't compare and contrast. I hope you're seeing this. The other key to keep in mind, the photos of Nicola provided by Emma to flood her own self out are presented to be as the same day, right? They would have to be. Think about it. Why would it be helpful to give someone a photo of, oh, this is one from Nikki from November? No, it's under the idea in the guise of, here's more that I got. We gave the police these three. Here's the rest that I've heard that day. One's got her nose chopped off, right? That's the idea. But they're not from the same day. And I proved that. Why are the socks different? Again, I don't care about colors. Blue, red, pink, burgundy, I don't care. Rainbow, okay? Look at them, they're different. One's ruffled, one's not. Like I said, I don't care what color they are, they're not the same. Look, why is their hair different? Why are their skulls different sizes? Look, the one on the right is a little bit bigger and more round. The other one on the left, which is Emma, is more thin and narrow. Then I'll show you a picture here of the two when they were friends. Crazy, huh? Can't make this stuff up. Why are their calf sizes different? Huh? Look, you're supposed to be from the same day, people. So if you're buying Emma's narrative, why are they different? They can't be. She's just being a helpful best friend and giving you more than the police have so that she can be even more helpful. No, that's what she wants you to believe. It's the other way around. She's trying to flood it out. Why does the red photo of Emma have a hair part, widow's peak, then clearly Nikki's does not? She has more of a straight line. I already said that, okay? The three police photos are Emma. Okay? She flooded the Nikki ones out in hopes of covering up. People wonder why Nicola was not wearing a hat on one of the coldest days of the year. I'll tell you. Emma didn't wear a hat because the photos she was going to use to flood hers out, the ones you see of Nicola's not wearing a hat that day. That's why. She couldn't, therefore, then wear a hat. Don't you think, Emma, she would have if she could choose? Of course she would have. It would then conceal her features more so, right? I mean, I bargained. That's why Paul wore one in his first interview, but I said I wouldn't hypothesize, so just void out that I said that, okay? But you get what I'm saying. Emma didn't wear a hat because she couldn't. She would then have to find other CCTV photos of Nicola, similar, very similar, that she was trying to replicate, only ones where she was also wearing a hat, that same hat. Likely, there were more to pick from in those where Nikki's not wearing a hat. It's easier thus to fabricate when she doesn't have a hat on. That's why there's no hat. It shows premeditation, evidence that there was behind-the-scenes forethought, planning involved here. Really think about it. Really think about it. It's the behavior. Why was there all of these alternatives of the CCTV flooded out aside from the police of actually Nicola? Ask yourself, are they really helpful for finding someone who was led to be believed in the water? That's what the police led us to believe for 21 days, 22 days. No, they're not helpful. How? They projected the idea the entire time she was in the river. How are those extra pictures provided by friends and hand out Emma White? How are those helpful? The only rational reason is to flood out the real person in them, Emma White. Now, I do realize the allegations I'm making here, and I know they are controversial as all get out. I get that. But I want to make it clear the whole school thing is irrelevant. Okay? The staging of the narrative, that's what this proves. Nikki was not in that photo. She did not leave Inskip. She's seen Emma with Willow in the boot and Inskip. Then, after that, Emma takes Willow to the river on St. Michael's. That's the point. Why did Emma go from openly showing her ring without any issues to after the CCTV deliberately concealing it, making it appear as a clean, plain band, yet I showed a moment where she slips and reveals it? I'll replay that here in the background. It's not just proving the photos, it's Emma's behaviors alongside them too. The flooding of the CCTV of Nicola, aside from the police's photos. Her pitch of alternative theories to other YouTube channels, news sources, BBC, all of the camera interviews, etc., the fisherman, the red van, the asking for dash cam footage along the entrance by the bridge, because Nicola never went there, right? Emma's narrative is giving you the truth, but the truth is everything Emma's not. You catching on? These behaviors by Emma, then you add in the GoFundMe for £100,000 while Nicola was still missing. She retracts down to, 50, then 5? And it says apologizes because the family didn't know. Is that something someone genuinely would do if Nicola really was missing? You know? Emma's in the CCTV Police 3 with Willow in the boot. Willow was staged at the bench with the phone. That's not my opinion, that's the truth, and every one of you know that. Willow was found between the kissing gate, was tied up. Who knows, who cares who? The fact is that Willow was staged with the phone. That is Emma in that CCTV photo. I've proved that beyond a doubt in that picture. Whether or not the girls were taken, it doesn't matter. The stage where the play is taking place is the towpath and the river along the wire at St. Michael's. That is where everything is being fabricated. No CCTV of Nicola absolutely anywhere. Not a single photo has been presented. Nowhere. Yeah, of course, the stage ones from the house, but that's it. And I already explained to you why those are there. If it is Emma impersonating Nikki in those photos, which I believe I have proven beyond all doubt, then you have to presume logically and reasonably it was this version of Nicola who closed that hatch, then took the short drive to river at St. Michael's with Willow. It was not Nikki. Maybe something didn't happen to Nicola until after she dropped the kids off. I don't know that. But what I do know beyond all doubt, Emma is staging the CCTV with Willow. You can see it yourself. And thus is the one whom staged the whole RIVER Wyre ruse. Now, I was going to include this in the last episode, but I chose not to, for I do not want to bash anyone, but I think it's important, for I have received, 13 or so emails now, not before I made the last video, and I've seen a couple comments. Behavioral experts have cleared Paul behavior. Yo, just blah, blah. Take a listen here, then I'll discuss. Show you the fallacy in play. No disrespect. I like Mark Bowden. Just the truth.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people have their eyes on this individual. Why would that be so? Well, he's really the only person who's been interviewed. Already statistically low that it's homicide in the first place, because they're not very common in the UK at all. UK is about 6th in the world, lowest for homicide. And if it is the intimate part, if it is a homicide and it's the intimate partner, 80% is more likely to happen in the home and not out in the open. But I think if anybody is looking in his direction right now in terms of being a perpetrator of a crime, I will say categorically you're looking in exactly the wrong direction.
Now, again, I respect Mr. Bowden. I like him. But you heard him there. He is suggesting to those implicating Paul in the beginning as having a bias, because he is the only one being interviewed. Othello's arrow, he cites, then proceeds to give stats. Homicide is relatively low. It's the 6th lowest in the UK. And in fact, if it were a homicide, it would have likely taken place in the home, not out in the open. See, he's assuming that that's 100% facts, that it happened out at the River Wyre. That is what bothered me from the beginning. Watching this, it is awfully dangerous for the behavioral panel to assert facts in the open in an open investigation case. As I have shown with Emma impersonating, it is likely something happened not at the River Wyre, yet more likely within doors, their home, so to speak. I mean, Emma is the one exiting the house with Willow, right? So, for to him to suggest and lecture others as to why their biases are wrong, and you're looking categorically in the wrong direction, my response, well, you don't have the actual facts right to even then go forward and suggest such. Looking categorically in the wrong direction is in fact what he was doing. So, to those spewing this towards me, that's my response. I love Mark, sincerely, but please think critically for yourself, watch through it before you shoot out expert at me and claim you are not accurate. I'm not saying I am now, but there's enough here to put said reasoning into question.
I do have are a very particular set of skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
I've always wanted to use that clip, which is one of my favorite movies. Obviously, it was a joke and just a fun zinger back to the haters. Now, I do personally intend on getting my private investigation license at some point. Just to clarify, that's why I get upset when I get grouped into these, just a social media thing, There's a lot of us people on these platforms that can do justice and help provide some help, Either start up my own firm or join one already established. Who knows? We'll see where the road will lead me. Anyways, I love all 4 of those guys from the behavioral panel. Just lost some regard, I guess. In fact, I had one of their books in my shopping cart on Amazon. And I went in there the other day and, not Mark's, but one of the other guys. And I since removed it, and that's my personal choice. I just wish they wouldn't dabble in current investigations. I think they have a lot of benefits and knowledge for everybody, but instead I purchased the Prince Harry memoir, Spare. I figured it was fitting, given the focus of mine as of late, just to keep, kind of like a tip of the cap, so to say, to that part of the world, but that's besides the point. Yes, I realize this is considered controversial, but why should the truth be considered controversial? In a world where we all would love to be and believe that we are in a half the time where good versus evil, good always wins, wouldn't and shouldn't this help assist those that no longer have a voice be a good thing? If you follow me, this is not my typical approach. Hardly will you ever witness or observe me come out so hot. Unless that is, I reach a point of absolute conviction. In this case, like I said, I have. I cannot ascertain when and how Nicola was taken, if she chose self-fate, if there was murder involved, etc. But what I can prove, as you have seen, is that Emma impersonated Nikki in those 3 CCTV photos given to the police, then deliberately has attempted to cover them up, blending in alternatives with the actuality pictures of Nikki. Emma was the one with Willow along the River Wyre. That is what I can prove beyond all doubt. Now, regarding with the school, I don't know. That's irrelevant, okay? Oh, and that Nikki was not in the River Wyre for the 23 days. I prove that as well, as far as the Weir not being able to. It's not possible. Thanks, Peter Falding, with that direction. I appreciate that. Now, how they kept her, etc., I couldn't possibly be 100% accurate on that. I don't think anyone can be. Don't get me wrong, I have my thoughts, like the fact that the Marsh farm is so darn close. the water canal doors that can be lifted are awfully interesting now that Emma is amidst the most likely one who knows what had happened, of course, alongside Paul. They waited until an investigation shifted focus, then likely put her in the water somehow or another, hoping that she would most likely make her way out to sea. I understand how controversial that allegation is, but if you get mad at me, then that's just you're not looking at what I showed you, And it's interesting that Curtis Media video, how fired up that sister got when she pulled up next to him when he was there. That could just all be a coincidence. You never know. But, I don't forget things like that. The coroner's report will be rather interesting. I believe full-heartedly that she did not drown or die anywhere near the River Wyre, and or that it had a single cause to do with it. That's clear. Now, if drowning is the cause, then it happened elsewhere. Okay? That's just my opinion, right? Now, I noticed one comment, which was interesting, from a white, suggested that the white stripes do not match on the coat of Emma. She comes out, the ones you see in the red photo, I call it. Well, yeah, because there's nothing to match them to. Every picture she has put out of Nicola doesn't give you view and sight of Nicola's right upper side coat. Now, I don't want pictures that show it and all that. It doesn't matter. What she's presented to the world so far, it's not possible to compare it. So therefore, anything going out now, it isn't going to matter, right? Whoever this is just trying, and it's interesting, the last name's White, is just trying to get me to, oh yeah, that's right. Got to remember, I think critically for myself. I'm open-minded, The big thing that people have to understand that I, for myself and where else, you really got to be critical of who your influences are. I'm not saying not to believe everything or believe everybody, but it's a personal right to yourself to make sure you're critical about the influences you have and make sure you screen them appropriately. Whenever you get close to a truth, you're always going to get more haters. You're always going to get people trying to deviate you away from that. Or you've been working hard on the case. Why don't you just move on? To me, it's clear as day when those things come out. And I've gotten plenty of emails, trust me. One of them in particular, I wonder who that's from. That's all I can say. Maybe I'll share it someday. But not now. You're not gonna fool me, I guess. It's hard for me. I'm all the way across halfway around the world, but I'm not gonna have someone say I'm from here, this, that, and that. You're wrong, and then me believe it. It's not gonna happen. I trust what I see and the reason behind it. So, who knows? Maybe she has a coat just like Nicola's. It doesn't matter. That's besides the point, Rebecca. The ring. Emma's behavior surrounding the events, concealing it afterwards, flooding the narratives all over as well as the photos. I need not be more clear than that. If you disagree or want to fine pick an aspect, I'll 100% say it's irrelevant. You cannot refute that it is Emma in those photos. That ring's a dead ringer. It is. That proves what I have here as not right. I don't think there's anything that can say, well, yeah, Nikki wore that ring once or twice. It's not going to happen. So please, just save your time. All right. I'm not certain when my next upload will be. I didn't even plan on doing this one, but I thought the information was very critical, and I didn't want to lose people with that hypothesis around it, okay? But it'll be soon, no doubt. So controversial it is then. Truth trumps all else. I guess that's what I stand behind. And the last note that I want to make, I noticed that some of the interviews of Emma White appear to have magically began to disappear. I imagine they are reaching out to the news sources, Sky News, and having them removed. Just know that if any of this content or the Mind Juice channel goes anywhere, take my word 100%. It was not to my doing at all whatsoever, I promise. If my channel does disappear, don't worry, I'll be back. How I'll reach out to all of you, I don't know. It'll be something Mind Juicy related, I guess. And then in my intro, you'll be able to figure out. But thanks again to all of you out there being so positive and supportive. You are the best. I wanted to present this quick, shorter piece that simply focused on the facts of this evidence. With that said, I'm not going to go and create this video over, caravan people or that. Like, in my heart of hearts, where I'm at, I believe I've gotten to the bottom what I feel like I can. And unless something else changes, I'm not going to keep beating a dead horse, so to say. I'm not saying I'm not going to speak on it again. I very well may. Obviously we have Inquest coming up something could happen on Wednesday. And I'll be curious to see how this week plays out. But yeah, you guys are all the best. Have a great evening, good week. Happy St. Patrick's Day, I believe is Friday. So yeah, enjoy that. Take care. Until next time, everybody. Mind Juice out.